I think that this album is a triumph, you know, because I've seen a lot of people saying like, yo, you sound like you can feel the happiness in the music. You can feel the joy radiating, you know, every note, every verse, you know?
Yeah.
There's no Kid Cudi album that sounds like this. Can you imagine? 11 albums, and I was able to still do something new.
I don't take new music for granted. The honesty, the energy, and the spirit required to release a new body of work, it can get lost in the thrash of anticipation and opinion, but when all of that fades, what's left is the work, the art. Kid Cudi knows this. That's why after a short-lived retirement, we're back together, having another conversation. A re-energized Cudi with a bright future and his eyes wide open, taking in a beautiful view.
You know, I feel like all these years I've kind of been exploring as an artist, and I've been on a quest, you know, a quest to acquire my powers to be able to compete one day. And, you know, that was one of the goals I had going into this. It's like, no, I'm not gonna just make my just offbeat different shit and just be in my own lane. Like, no, I'm trying to compete. You know, I want to have the best album of the year. You know what I mean? I want people to arguably have the debate about my shit being one of the best albums of the year. You know, I didn't want to have any doubts. I wanted to make something that was completely undeniable.
You know, when you told me a couple of years back that you were going to walk away from music for a while, it felt dramatic to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it felt dramatic to you, but were you waiting for that desire to compete? Is that part of the reason why you wanted to stop? Was because you weren't feeling that competitive edge at that moment?
Yeah, I was kind of like out of it. You know, I was just in this place where I was thinking about my future, and it just didn't seem like, I don't know. This doesn't seem like there was really an appetite for my music in the ways that it used to be. Finally got through that whole, you know, retirement thing, because I talked to my friend Brian. The world knows him as Cause. But he was like, hey man, I don't mean to get in your business, but I think you should rethink this retirement thing. I think you could be around for a long time. And, you know, to see Brian kind of come to me real like that, you know, and he's never approached me about my music or what I should do with my music ever before. So it hit me in a different way, as if it was like, it could have been Dot or Chip or Dennis. It was different. And literally after that message, I was like, shit, man. He's right. I'm just getting warm.
Yeah.
You know? Like I'm just getting warm. I mean, 15 years is a long time to be doing anything, but like, it's just the beginning.
You know, every album you make though has been so honest and conceptual, and you don't just make a bunch of tracks, you know, you make albums and you make them from a really deep place, and it obviously takes a lot out of you. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was some exhaustion involved there. Like, do I really want to go ahead and take on something else's kind of, and plus you have all these other things you do as well, from producing things and directing things and creating things, and you're all in on everything.
Right.
So it makes sense that this album is 20 songs, just banger after banger, and it doesn't feel conceptually heavy to me, in the sense that maybe there's a concept there, but in the sense that it's like, how am I gonna finish the story?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was really at a place where I had a goal. You know, I was like, okay, I've done all these different types of albums. I've touched on all different types of spaces, creatively, sonically. What is the one thing that I haven't accomplished? And I was still in this place trying to figure out what that album would sound like. And I was in Paris. I just finished my European runner tour, and I go to see Kendrick. And this motherfucker, it blew my fucking mind. I'm sitting there I'm watching the crowd reaction from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. People were in it, party mode, singing every fucking word. Not saying this doesn't happen at my shows, because it does. But all the way through, like, I don't have that experience. You know what I mean? And it's like, I had this moment where I was like, you know what? This is the reaction I want. I want people to feel good and it to be a joyous occasion when I'm performing. So I took that, the inspiration from Kendrick's show, and Kendrick has always been my top 3 artists in the world. You know, like, I'm actually so proud of the record that we have. We got one record, Solo Dolo Part 2. You know what I mean? So proud of it. So I took that inspiration, got to the studio and said, let's fucking get to work. We need to make something with some energy. I'm happy, I'm in a better place in my life. I've never made an album in this type of mode before. Let's see what comes out of that. So the album was truly designed for arenas, for the live show.
Oh, you can hear it sonically, you can hear the dynamic in it. It's like, every song feels like it could be the set opener, almost.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a hard time figuring out that set list. But often I have these dreams, it's just such a good intro song.
It's so good.
You know what I mean? It's so good. And like, I can just see me just standing there and it comes on and the white light and I'm just like standing there.
It's got the false intro with the drums that then disappear. The whole thing feels like, is it happening? Is it not happening?
Yeah, man.
I'm so happy to hear you're in a great place, first and foremost. The music reflects that. The view reflects that. This whole space feels very serene. Most artists introduce themselves to the world. If anyone listens, you thrash around for a while and quite a long time until you can find a way out to a place like this, and then you get to collect your thoughts and take stock. Is that how it felt when you found this place?
Well, the first 8 years I was chilling in Los Feliz. And I knew that house wasn't gonna be my forever home. And I was just renting for a while and I just didn't know if I wanted to make LA home base permanently.